I'm 43 and I finally realised the 3 o'clock crash was not a sleep problem. So now I do this instead. For years I blamed my bedtime. I went to bed earlier. I bought the magnesium. I tracked my sleep score every single night. And still, at almost exactly the same minute each afternoon, my body switched itself off. Sleep was never the thing that was actually broken. Here is what nobody told me. The 3 o'clock crash in women over 40 is almost never about how long you slept. It is about what your blood sugar did between 8 in the morning and lunchtime and how much muscle you have left to absorb it. Both of those things change quietly after 40. Neither of them shows up on a sleep tracker, which is exactly why you keep missing it. So if you have been earlier to bed for 6 months and you still cannot keep your eyes open at 3, this is for you. I am going to walk you through what is actually happening in your body in that hour, why it got worse in your 40s specifically, and the 4 changes that fixed it for me. None of them cost anything. All of them start before 9 in the morning. Start with breakfast, because the 3 o'clock crash begins there. Most of us eat a breakfast that is almost entirely carbohydrate. Toast, cereal, porridge with banana, a pastry on the way in. Perfectly normal food. But it sends your blood glucose up fast. Your body answers with a big release of insulin, and glucose drops below where it started. That is the first domino of the day. That first spike and drop sets a pattern your body repeats all day. You get hungry by 10:30. You reach for something quick. Another spike. Another drop. By mid-afternoon, you have ridden that roller coaster 3 times and your nervous system has had enough. The tiredness you feel at 3 is not the sleep debt catching up. It is the 4th crash of the day arriving on schedule. Now the part that changed everything for me. Muscle is where glucose goes to be stored and used. It is the biggest buffer you own. From roughly your late 30s, if you are not actively training, you lose somewhere between 3 and 8% of your muscle mass each decade, and that loss accelerates around menopause. Smaller buffer, sharper swings. Same breakfast, much worse afternoon. Estrogen is the other piece. Estrogen helps your cells respond to insulin. As it declines through perimenopause, your cells become a little more resistant, meaning the same slice of toast requires more insulin than it did at 30. This is not a personal failing, and it is not because you have got lazy. It is a measurable physiological change, and it responds extremely well to being worked with rather than fought. There is a third layer, and it is cortisol. Cortisol naturally peaks in the morning and tapers across the day, with a real dip in the early afternoon. That dip is normal. Everyone has it. But when your blood sugar is already unstable and your muscle buffer is smaller, you feel that dip as a wall rather than a lull. Same biology, very different experience. Which brings me to the coffee. When the wall arrives, most of us reach for caffeine. It works for about 90 minutes. But caffeine has a half-life of roughly 5 to 6 hours, so a 2:30 coffee still has a meaningful amount circulating at 8 in the evening. It delays deep sleep. You wake less restored. And tomorrow's 3 o'clock is worse than today's. So here is what I actually changed. Change 1. 30 grams of protein at breakfast, before anything else. That is 3 eggs, or a large bowl of Greek yogurt, or 2 eggs with smoked salmon. Protein blunts the glucose rise, keeps you full past 11, and gives your body the raw material to hold onto muscle. This single change did more than every supplement I ever bought. Change 2. A 10-minute walk after lunch. Not for calories. Walking muscles pull glucose out of your blood without needing extra insulin, which flattens the post-lunch spike almost immediately. 10 minutes is genuinely enough. Around the block, up and down the stairs, to the far shop instead of the near one. This is the cheapest, fastest intervention on this entire list. Change 3. Strength training twice a week. Not an hour. 25 minutes twice a week of squats, presses, rows, and a hinge. You are building the buffer back. Women who strength train through their 40s do not just look different, they process glucose differently, and the afternoons feel different within about 3 weeks. This is the highest leverage hour you will spend all week. Change 4. Move the coffee to before noon and eat protein at 3 instead. A handful of almonds, a boiled egg, a small pot of cottage cheese. You are treating the actual cause rather than masking it. Give this 2 weeks. Most women tell me the wall does not disappear dramatically. It just quietly stops arriving, and they only notice a fortnight later. If you want this laid out day by day rather than piecing it together yourself, that is exactly what my 30-day body reset is. 4 weeks of what to eat at breakfast, what to do with those 2 strength sessions, and how to actually get through the afternoons. It is the version of your day where 5 o'clock arrives and you have still got something left for it. $12.99, link in the description. And if you are not ready for that yet, start with the free one. My 60 high-protein snack ideas is a completely free download, and it exists precisely for the 3 o'clock moment we have been talking about. 60 things you can actually reach for that will hold you until dinner. Grab it at healthandfitnesswithella.com. The link is in the description, no cost at all. Next week, I am covering the one that catches almost everyone out. The 2 in the morning wake up. Why you fall asleep perfectly fine at 10, and then find yourself wide awake at 2, staring at the ceiling, in your 40s and not before. It is the same hormonal story from a completely different angle. Subscribe so it finds you when it lands.